Hi, I'm Mike Suarez from Tampa City Council, and you're watching Tampa Bay Community Network.
Hi, I'm Bill Hodges, and we're glad to have you with us because we've got Mike Suarez, chairman of the City Council here in Tampa in District 1, right?
Correct, sir.
It's exciting to have you.
Thank you. I'm always excited whenever I see you, Bill.
Well, I'll tell you what, I absolutely love the city of Tampa. I don't live in there, but
Well, shame on you. If you love it so much, come on in. Let's have you in there.
I support it as much as possible.
That's good.
I live down there in Sun City Center with the other old geezers. But we have a lot of fun and we're very active and we use the city for a lot. In fact, shortly we'll be coming down and going on a boat cruise out of Carnival's docks there.
Oh, terrific. That's a wonderful dock to go and visit the Caribbean, so that's terrific.
The port is wonderful, and if you live around here, it's really neat. The price of a 5-day or 6-day cruise is very, very little. You can't even stay in a hotel for the money.
Well, listen, I went with my family on a cruise in March of last year, and we really enjoyed ourselves. My father-in-law, who lives in Fort Wayne, Indiana, he came down and he went on the cruise with us, and we had a great time.
We're taking 2 others with us. We have significant birthdays in November. My birthday is on the 30th, and my wife's birthday is on the 29th. So it's kind of neat. We're going to get to be at sea that day and be out there celebrating. And 2 nights in a row, the Carnival people will have to give us cakes.
So your gift to her was to spend time with you on a ship for 4
That's right,
days?
yeah.
I'm not sure you got the message, Bill, but that's good. I hope you have fun.
Actually, it was her idea.
Okay, even better.
I can't take responsibility. Mike, how long have you got left on your office? About 2 years?
A little over 2 years. March of 2019, I'll be term limited out. And the way it works in Tampa, it's not an absolute term limit. So as an example, I'm in a citywide seat, as you mentioned, District 1. I could jump into a district seat and run for that. Right now we have a young man by the name of Guido Maniscalco, who is my district representative.
He's been on the show with me.
He's been on, and so my chances of me deciding to do that are probably nil. But like everything else, you don't know what's going to happen in life, and the 2 years are plenty of time for us to do some more things.
It's been my experience here that it's like musical chairs.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Tom Scott's been on this, on that, on this, on that. And
Well-
he's done a great job wherever he's went.
Well, my colleague Charlie Miranda has been on council on and off for over
20-some-odd years.
20-some years, and he jumped for last year from his district seat to a citywide seat. He's done it both ways. He brags actually that he says that he's been on every numbered seat there is on council. Now I don't know if that's true, but that's what he says.
Well, the one thing Charlie knows is plumbing. He knows where every pipe is buried under this city and how much it'll carry, how old it is, and where it's going from here.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Well, I know that he's been dealing with water, and a lot of times on council, we kind of split up different duties. And because I've been involved with the HART system. HART is our bus system. I've been involved with transportation quite a bit on my time in council. So.
I love the HART system. I love the bus system. I'd really like to see us have light rail. And as you pointed out earlier, it just takes enough money to get there. But tell us a little bit about some of the things that are going on in the HART system.
Well, I've been the chairman now coming up on 3 years. In those 3 years that I've been chairman, what we have seen are significant changes. We have not gotten a big bump in terms of revenue coming in. We do have a slight bump from the increase in property revenue, because that's where most of our dollars come from. It's about $30 million that come in. But our system, really, with our capital costs and everything else, is about $80 million. We are nowhere near the size we need to be for the county's size. We have about 190 vehicles. A county our size, we should have double that easily. but we don't have the revenue in order to do it. What we've done is we've done a lot of innovative partnerships. So as an example, Megabus and Red Coach are two partnerships that we deal with. They are long haul buses that we made a contract with them to park at the Marion Street Transit Center in downtown Tampa. So when they bring people into Tampa, they park there. They pay us to park there. And in addition, we allow folks to use some of their passes to ride on those buses to go down to, as an example, Sun City Center. The problem with buses is that it takes time to go down there. They call them deadhead hours to come back.
Exactly.
So the time it takes to go on the interstate with a bus all the way down to Sun City Center or Waimama or Apollo Beach, you lose that time bringing back folks because it's not an equal exchange of folks. So we've done that. We've saved quite a bit of dollars in order to provide this very simple service. And we still provide the service. So that's one partnership we've done. Some of the things that we've done recently that's really exciting, we have a partnership to provide a driverless vehicle along Marion Street Transit Mall. So if you're at the transit center, you can go on a driverless vehicle.
I want to try that. I saw some pictures of it.
It's an interesting thing because, you know, they have a controlled track because it's closed to buses only, and it'll be able to go up and down Marion Street with practically no problem. So I think that that's going to be a great way to do it, and when they may be able to expand it in parts of downtown Tampa.
How do you get them to stop?
Well, you know, I got to tell you, I don't know the answer to that. That's a technical question I've never thought about.
I have to ask Catherine that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that they have prescribed stops, and they stop, and then they go from there. And in addition, we've done a couple other things. One that you just heard about, which is Hyperlink. That's a rideshare program provided by a private company called Transdev. They're one of the largest providers of transit across the world. And they're going to provide the vehicles. There is going to be a cost that's paid for partly by Florida Department of Transportation dollars, partly by the rider. So it might cost us $7, but the rider will pay only $3 to ride it.
And who's making up the difference?
The difference is coming from the state government on a grant that we received from them. So we're using private, we're using public dollars from the state to have private providers. And then what they're going to do is connect us between what they call the first mile, last mile problem, which is if I'm in the North Tampa area, right around where we're recording now, and I say, I need to be able to get a half a mile or a mile from where I'm at. That's very difficult for most people to walk, especially in an urban environment. Sure. Now you can do it on a rideshare basis. You get an app on your phone, you use it, they come and pick you up to take you to the bus stop, which is a great way of doing it.
Sort of like Uber.
It's sort of like Uber, but it's connected directly to the transit system. So that's the difference, which is Uber's everywhere. This is very concentrated for use within the system. And so we're trying to do different things. In addition, as part of my perch on City Council, we have a thing called the Downtowner now in downtown Tampa. These are 8-person electric vehicles. They roam through the downtown area.
They're driven by someone.
They're driven by someone, and what you do is you have an application for it. You say where you're at and say where you're going to go, and they come and pick you up, and then they take you there.
Oh, that's an app also within the downtown area.
Absolutely, and there is no cost associated with riding it. The downtown partnership is in partnership with us at the City of Tampa to provide that service. So far, that has been an unbelievable ridership. We had the first week over 2,000 rides for this.
I'd like seeing the trolleys do that, be extended, but this maybe is less expensive.
Well, there may be some opportunities for us to extend the streetcar, and that's something that we'll probably talk about in the future.
What about funding for some of these things? Does it look like we're going to see something go on the ballot? Maybe not right away, but reasonably soon?
I don't think so. And part of the problem is that a city, even the size of Tampa, doesn't have the legal right to have a referendum. Only the county can put that on there. The county, as you know, a few months ago made a decision to not put it onto the ballot. So there's only 2 ways to get on the ballot. You have to have a citizen-driven initiative in order to get on the ballot for the county, or you have to have the county commission do it. It's very difficult to get the number of signatures necessary to get on the ballot if it's citizen initiated, and I'm not sure that our county commission is going to go in that direction. Now, having said that, I've asked many of the people that are in the legislature to allow state law to be changed so that cities over 150,000 people or more could actually have a referendum in order to provide transit. If we had that ability, I think that Tampa, our city, could actually extend the streetcar where it's at now into the north downtown area, and hopefully extend it all the way to the West Shore area and maybe even to the airport.
I think it'd be great. I really do. Cities I go to, Salt Lake, I mean, it's fabulous. If you get on the Salt Lake transit system, which is a trolley type thing, you get on it inside the city, it costs you nothing.
Yeah.
You can go all over all day long, not a dime. You go outside the city and get on it, it does cost you a small fund.
Well, and here's the thing with Utah, you know, Salt Lake City is, they have a wonderful mayor in Salt Lake City, and they have the power under Utah law to have a referendum. If that law was similar to what they changed it here in Florida, I'm pretty sure that the city of Tampa would pass a referendum in order to allow that to go forward. I know that for my part, I'm looking at different ways that we can fund some extension of the streetcar from where it's at now to go a little bit further north. I'd love for it to serve the Curtis Hickson Park area. It is, and I know you've been to Curtis Hickson Park, it is a wonderful park, and it has done more for...
Fun.
It's fun, and it's done so much to open up the downtown area and connect both the Curtis Hickson Park and Eulalie, where Richard Gonsmart has that wonderful restaurant, and Waterworks Park that we helped build.
I love Waterworks Park.
And you know,
that is so much fun.
And I will do a personal brag if you don't mind, because we were talking about the military. If you go to Waterworks Park, there is a point that juts into the river, and there is a mast with the American flag.
I remember seeing it.
And there are two plaques there, if you recall. There is one for Paul Ray Smith, who was an Army veteran, and then you have one for Baldomero Lopez, who was a U.S. Marine. Both of them are Tampa natives. Both of them are Congressional Medal of Honor recipients. And I am the one that actually put that in. So that's my one personal brag that I will do today. I thought it was an appropriate piece because Baldomero Lopez, who is a native son, was someone that, of course, died in the Incheon landing during the Korean War. Paul Ray Smith, if you ever read these, and I know you have, because I know how much you have an interest in the military, if you read what he did during I think he was in Iraq, it's an amazing thing. He saved 30 of his own soldiers and took out, several other enemy combatants. And I will tell you, when you read those things, you cannot help but get a lump in your throat and think about how difficult it must be for a young man to take that on and be able to be that heroic in very, very tough times. So Waterworks Park, that's the one thing that I will say that is totally mine, and I will tell you.
Right to feel proud.
I will tell you that is one of the few things that I can point to and say I came up with that idea and we got it done. So I'm very happy about that.
I have to tell you that yes, veterans are very important to me. And we're coming off of Veterans Day and Veterans Days weekend, and I did so many things on that weekend related to the veterans themselves. And I have to admit that I'm a big baby. I'm one of those people who watches movies, tears up, everything.
Me too. And
when I MC something like that, and I have to talk about the MIA table and what each of the pieces mean, and I could start tearing up in a minute.
Oh yeah. And I know what you mean because I've been to many of those ceremonies.
It is so important for our young people to know. But there is one group that pretty much got forgotten, Mike, and that's the Korean War people.
Sure.
We're now taking pictures, and the one fellow said, "This is the first thing anybody's done for me since I got back from Incheon."
Oh yeah. And I will tell you, Korea is a very interesting thing. There's a good friend of mine. He is probably now 86 or 87 years old, and he was a Marine veteran, and I think he was in the 1st Marine Division and was at the Chosin Reservoir.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, they were under siege for over 30 days in the cold, and it was wintertime, and they called
A
themselves.
horrible war. I mean, no war is good war, I just say, but that one especially.
Well, they called themselves because there was a siege, and I think there were 1,000 or 1,100 men that were up there, and of those 1,100 men, only 300 and so survived. They called themselves the Chosin Few.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you go to any military base, any Marine base, there is a Chosin Reservoir way on every Marine Corps base across the world. So that's one of the ways that they do it. So I know that we got off a little bit on military stuff,
but the whole purpose of this program is really to get people to understand you a little better,
Sure.
to know you.
Sure.
We're not Fox News, we're not MSN. I'm not here to tear anybody down.
Thank goodness.
Really here just so you as a viewer get to know the people that are representing you,
Yeah.
and what's important to them.
Well, and I will tell you, Bill, we talked a lot about transportation, but one of the things another thing that I've been working on that I am very proud of is we have tried to institute, as part of the contracts that we award to city vendors, that they provide 20% of that contract towards apprenticeship programs. And so we had written it in primarily through our community redevelopment areas. So now that when someone comes and they're going to build something for us, whether it's a road or a sidewalk or something else, that when they come forward, they say, yes, we're going to use 20% of this. We're going to have folks that are going to be in apprenticeship programs. Because one thing that I know from my friends in the building trades, both in the union and non-union sectors, is that they do not have enough young people going into those trades. And because of it, we're going to have a real shortage of workers. And that means that we're not going to be able to build the things that we need to build. I mean, everything seems to be technology-based nowadays, but we still need people with 2 strong hands, a strong back, and the knowledge on how to build things. It is unfortunate that we haven't done enough of that. Years ago, this country used to provide those kind of training opportunities, and now we don't.
Well, unfortunately, we don't seem to value, at least out loud,
Right,
that kind of thing.
right.
Our career centers within the system here are really good. They have a lot of opportunity, but it seems like a lot of the people going there are going there because something didn't work out for them in the regular school system.
Right.
Not because they wanted to go there or they were encouraged to go there.
Right.
So you're absolutely right.
Well, and I will tell you, that is something that I've been very proud of, and I keep working on to make sure that we continue to promote it. We want more people to have jobs. We want more people to be a productive member of society. The more folks that we have working at jobs, the more that we're going to keep them here. We want talented people, and not just talented in terms of their intellect, but talented in terms of their skills. And that's something that I want to make sure that everyone understands, that Tampa is a place that values everyone, and not just a creative class, as they call it, or someone that's into financial services or a professional. But we do need good, skilled workers out there, because that is really the basis of the middle class that we have not been able to promote as much.
Somebody once said we must educate both our plumbers and our philosophers. If we don't, neither our philosophy or our plumbing will hold water.
That's for sure. I think that was Plato that said that.
Could have been.
I'm kidding. I don't think
Socrates.
it may have been a Roman philosopher. I don't know, but
I may have plagiarized it from somewhere and forgotten to. Yeah, I don't know.
well, as a politician, plagiarizing is no such thing. There's nothing against the law for that. So go ahead and plagiarize all you want.
Let's talk about something that's kind of near and dear to me, because I fight this battle on a regular basis.
Sure.
I live outside in the county, and I find an awful lot of us and them. We're not going to spend any money in Tampa. Tampa's got their own money. Why should we be buying this or paying for that? How do we get people to quit thinking of the us and them and think more about us as globally? Because people don't fly into Brandon. They don't fly into Sun City Center. They fly into Tampa.
Bill, you hit on one of my pet peeves in life. We just received our trim notice for our property taxes. You are not in the city of Tampa. The city of Tampa, on the trim notice, we have a certain amount that we give to the city of Tampa in order to provide the services like trash pickup and sewer and stormwater services and parks. If you are a city resident, that amount is equal to what you pay the county.
Oh,
Now,
really?
oh yes. So we pay the county an equal amount for no services. So, and that's why I always tell my friends in the county, if you'd like, let's trade trim notices, and I will guarantee you that I pay more in taxes, not because Tampa is taxing me more, it's because the county also received taxes. Now, to be fair to the county does provide most of our road system. 17% of the roads in the city of Tampa are controlled by the city of Tampa. Almost all of them are either county, state, or federal roads. But we don't get our fair share back from the county. You don't hear me complaining about it, but I do tell people, listen.
I get my fair share back from the federal government.
Yeah, that's right. It's the same thing for that. And so I tell folks, look, we pay into the county system. The sheriffs do not do law enforcement in the city. We don't have trash pickup from the county government. We don't have parks that are paid for by the county within the city limits. So why is it that you look at it as an us versus them? I look at it as all of us. I look at providing money. Well, I look at providing money to the county the same way I do to the school system, the same way I do to the library system. I mean, I don't use the library system like I used to when I was a kid, but I still think it's an important part of our society, and I'm willing to put money into that. So I think that we need to have a real conversation about that.
I agree. You work on several committees, or at least one that goes outside the city.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There are almost all the committees I have.
Besides transit, we know that.
Well,
but aren't there some that you deal with that are other counties,
absolutely.
not only us?
Not only am I on the HART board, which is the county board, but I'm also on the Tampa Bay Area Regional Transit Authority, and that goes through a 7-county area that goes as far north as Citrus and as far south as Charlotte County.
Really, up to Citrus?
Yeah, oh, absolutely, and it's a huge thing. We talk about issues that deal with us on a regional basis. Now, one of the things that the legislature set up is they set up this great regional board, and they gave us authority to run a transit system. They didn't give us any money to run it. So there's no taxing authority. They have the authority to run it, but with no money. So it's kind of hard to do things without cash.
There's something that I have to laugh about. Yesterday I was listening to one of the politicians who'd just been elected say, we're going to take care of the roads, and we're not going to tax you for them. What we're going to do is make toll roads out of them.
And you said, that's a tax.
That's a tax. I would say you don't see that. They add fees to where I want to put my boat in.
Sure.
For the boat ramp.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a tax.
Yeah.
That's a user fee.
Well, and the thing is that user fees are great. I have no problem with that. But when you sit there, well, it's okay to have a user fee, but it becomes a problem when we start to lose sight of common goals and saying these are the things we want to accomplish as a society, whether it's the county or the city or both in combination. For me, it's very important that we keep emphasizing that. I say that to my colleagues on the county commission, to my colleagues on city council, to my friend the mayor. We want to make sure that we understand that we have a common goal. We don't always agree, but we, for the most part, understand that we want to go in the right direction. Sometimes it might take a circuitous route, but we definitely try and go in the right direction.
It really amazes me that people fall for it.
Yeah.
Because, okay, I don't have a boat. So I don't care if they put a fee on that.
Yeah.
But I like to use the parks. Oh, wait, we're going to put a fee on. No, you can't do it on the parks.
Yeah.
It's a way of separating us out and getting the herd where it can be hit in 12 different directions. And I personally think it's a wrong thing.
Well, and you're right. If we're going to solve problems, and this is across every government in the United States, whether it's the legislature and the governor, the city and the county, the federal government with the Congress and the president, we need to come together on things that are common goals. And until we decide what those common goals are, because we get thrown off like a billiard ball that's been hit by a cue ball. That's our problem, is that we got to stop thinking about all the superfluous stuff and start thinking about the most good for the most people. The idea is to move the conversation along, to come to resolution, to figure out what the next step is. It isn't about controlling something, it's about the conversation that we have and then saying, here's where we're going with these caveats or with these scenarios, because if we don't do that, we're never going to solve problems. And if we don't solve problems, the people that vote us in, who pay our salary, who demand that we provide services, they're not going to be happy. And if we don't come to that realization and we play political games with each other, then we're going to lose what we essentially need, which is the will of the people for us to govern them, not the other way around.
I don't know that I've asked you every question that I want to ask you.
Okay.
But I don't know that I've asked you every question you want me to ask you.
Oh, and so this is the setup. This is a softball that I give to you.
Is there a time, is there anything that you'd like to say directly to the people and take a minute to 2 minutes to just suggest anything you'd like?
Well, you know, Bill, thanks for saying that. And I will tell you that some of the things that we talked to here today about the city of Tampa, I hope that if you are already living in the city, that you appreciate some of the things that we've done so far. We've made a great river walk that is, I think, a linchpin for the kind of development that you're going to see in the downtown area. We've done a lot in terms of trying to improve transportation, either through HART or through the city of Tampa. We're doing a lot in terms of trying to provide relief from flooding, and we passed a stormwater assessment. You know, you call it a fee, I call it an assessment, which is still the same thing. And
it's still a tax.
It's still a tax.
How it works out.
And we did that in order to try and make sure that Tampa is going to keep elevating its game and make it a better place to live. You know, for us, we always look and listen to what's going on in the city. It's never easy to solve some of these problems, but I will say that if you talk to any of the members of the City Council, you'll find a very receptive ear. I know that I'm very receptive to new ideas and trying to solve more problems. I think that Tampa is a great destination and a great place to live. If you don't live here already, if you live in the county, make sure when you come to the city of Tampa, try everything. The new downtowner in downtown Tampa is terrific, especially if you want to do something downtown. Go in one of the outlying parking lots, use the app, get into Curtis Dixon Park, and you'll be much better off doing that. Same thing with lightning games and so on. So I think that we have a lot of exciting things happening in Tampa, and I hope that more people will see that through my eyes, and hopefully they will.
I love your eyes.
Thank you so much.
What you're seeing is very, very important to all of us here in Tampa. If we have a healthy Tampa, the rest of the area will take care of itself.
Absolutely.
But we have to have a healthy Tampa. There's no question about it. You know, I didn't get to talk to you about tree trimming. I want to talk to you about that one day when you're on the program.
Sure.
A young friend of mine is building up their property and taking real good care of it, and saw some trees he needed to whack. Whacked them pretty good and forgot to get a permit. So
that's going to be a lot more time.
Councilman Suarez, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Bill, my pleasure.
I'm Bill Hodges. You're unique, you're special, you're great. Tell yourself so often because you are, you know, and we'll see you on the next Spotlight on Government. And again, thanks again for being with us.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, Bill.